Hey everybody, welcome to WWE The People, the podcast for the fans by the fans. I'm Ted Terzansky, and we have a packed house today. So joining us is Triple J Joe JG,
Yo,
Andy the Hurricane, and Danny No-Go, Danny Nagowski,
Happy to be at a house show.
and Frank Gerhardt from GeekSpot News. Gentlemen, so it is a
I just
new
realized
era.
Frank's background. That's messed up, bro.
What? Oh, no, it wasn't for that, but
Hey, but it's a new era of WWE, gentlemen. So at least for the next couple weeks, WWE is entirely on the USA Network. No more Fox. And I think overall it was a pretty good week. So I'm gonna go around the room, give your thoughts on Raw because the main focus is going to be SmackDown. But Raw, I think Raw wasn't bad. Punk versus Drew in Hell in a Cell. I think that was very predictable. Andy, I think you definitely called that.
I called that. Yeah.
Jay versus Braun. Again, Jay was the only logical opponent, I think, in my opinion, in that whole tournament. I don't know about you guys.
important to note, not booked for the pay-per-view though.
no, it's not.
So stupid.
Well, I think there's going to be bloodline interference, and it's all going to set up for Survivor Series.
That's what it's sounding like. I mean, I hope that's the.
But again,
route they're going
I'll
down.
get into that when we start talking about SmackDown because I have a big beef with that. But for me, the highlight of the night was Gunther with Bret Hart, which was just gold heel.
Phenomenal work.
I was shocked.
Where he said,
When-
my favorite was
when
Bill
they said
Goldberg."
that.
And I was
I
just
was
like, that is beautiful.
It was perfect,
That was
especially
out of
where it was done too.
that was completely out of left field that he let them bring that up.
There's no way. There's no way that Brett didn't agree to it because
Yeah, he had to have agreed.
Well,
and he knows the business, so he was like, "Go for it." Yeah, but I was like,
and Brett's like, this is look, this is a couple $1,000 or whatever they're paying me. So it's just like, this is an easy gig for me. So go ahead, take your shots.
Well,
That was
you could
amazing.
see he was laughing, like he was trying not to laugh, but he was like the rest of us. We're just like, oh shit.
we were like sitting there, we were watching it, and my kid and I was like, "Yo," I was like, he was talking, I was like, "Yo, he blames Goldberg for his career ending, all that stuff." Like within and then all of a sudden, what's his name comes out, and then goes out. I was like, "Oh my god, they went there." I was like, "That's like top of the line heat right there." So I was like,
That's the heel you need.
Yes.
"Yeah."
When Sammy came out, as much as I know JJ has said it and I've said it, I'm so tired of seeing Sami Zayn on TV right now. Him coming out in a Gaudreau jersey in Calgary was the epitome of class.
Oh yeah.
It was such a nice thing to see.
Mhm.
And the fact that they referenced it and they talked about it a little bit, it was because they did the same thing on the Phillies game right after it happened. Tom McCarthy did a big long thing about it. Them acknowledging it and talking about it, that was really, really, really well done.
Not to get off topic, but did their sister go through with the wedding that weekend?
I didn't.
No?
I didn't look to see.
No,
I wasn't sure.
I
couldn't imagine they'd be able to, but I was just curious.
I'm not a hockey fan, so I assumed he played in Calgary.
So
Yeah.
he played in Calgary and then he went to the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Mhm.
Now, was he from Philly or the area?
Jersey.
He's from the Jersey area.
Jersey.
Okay,
down by Salem.
Jersey.
But a
Okay.
Philly sports fan, yes.
right.
But
That was just a really touching tribute
Yeah, that was
Absolutely.
to
nice.
his family.
Yeah,
and that was really nice.
props to WWE for that. And yeah, just a class act. So I mean, but beautiful. And then the Judgment Day, Finn versus Damian, Liv versus Rhea, same old, same old. It's pretty obvious for Bad Blood.
What's wrong with you?
Yo, Andy, you got
Dog-
enough for the rest of us here, man?
My dog's got
you're
gas.
snacking away.
My dog just let one go, right? I was like, what is that smell? I was like,
Oh, you sure it
No.
wasn't Bill Goldberg?
oh.
So
I had zero interest in the women's tag match.
I forgot that even happened.
Zero interest in that. I really didn't have any interest in the Wyatt's match this week.
I'm telling you, man, I'm over it.
I'm not over it, but I don't think it depends on where they go next.
Where can you go next?
There's symbols showing up behind people on different shows, so they're laying seeds.
It doesn't work with them being baby faces.
Mm-hmm. They have
I don't think they have much of a choice.
Yeah, they don't. You're right, but it just.
I think they can. I think it has to go. I think the first 6 months to a year of this has to be almost like a tribute to Bray, and then it can start once the characters are no longer in, and they're always going to be in Bray's shadow, but once the characters are kind of like their own thing, and
once it's not focused on Bray.
Yeah,
and that's the problem. It's the only reason they're over is because of Bray.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Yeah, but at the same time, the Uncle Howdy character was getting pretty interesting before, Bray got sick and everything. So
because of Bray.
I think now you got to get the Judgment Day feud over with. And then I think you have the Wyatt 6 against the Judgment Day.
I think that Judgment Day thing is going to go to at least Survivor Series.
I just feel like the Judgment Day. I've been saying this. The Judgment Day, when I say in our group chat, I was like, the Judgment Day are like the Power Ranger putties. They never win. They get beat up all the time.
They're jobbers.
And like I feel like the Judgment Day had a chance to be one of the best factions. The Edge thing was kind of but like once they went to the Damian Priest angle and everything, I was like, okay, it has a chance. Him, Finn Balor, all of them. But then they just lost all the time. Mm-hmm. It was like, you know what I mean? It was just like, so it's like they're not. So that's why I think for the Wyatts right now, and I do think they should go. I think if there's a group that can destroy the Judgment Day and make the Judgment Day have the actual collapse and end it, I think the Wyatts are the ones to use to do it. But I just think the Wyatts have to keep winning and have to be overpowerful right now, and then they can eventually go into that that heel type thing. They are kind of trying to be heelish. It's just that because of Bray, everybody loves them so much. It's surprising though, because JJ always loves the anti-hero, the good guy that everybody's supposed to hate, and he's sitting here going like, I just can't believe it. I'm tired of these guys. You know what I mean? Like, but he's usually the guy that goes like, he hates every Superman, but he loves every Batman. You know what I mean? So you do. John Cena, you were a John Cena hater. Come on, when John Cena and Punk were going at it. Now all of a sudden Punk is more over than he's ever been. You're like, he's not as what he. Am I wrong?
The Judgment Day isn't going to end though. They have the Bloodline on SmackDown, and that's going to go for years. That's not going to end anytime soon, and I know we'll talk about that. But they need something on Raw to see them through. So they have the Wyatt 6 that they're trying, and they have Judgment Day that they keep forcing down your throat. They're not going to just wipe them away with a couple of losses. So
it just doesn't feel like the Judgment Day anymore either.
No,
you know what I mean? Like it just does. I feel like they should have had a major collapse after the Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley split. You know what I mean? That most part. And the Judgment Day kind of probably should have. When we were talking about before, remember I guess they were toying around with different names to kind of come up with, and I guess they just decided to keep the Judgment Day
for the street trash.
They're
just like, okay, cross out, just pick a new name.
I just feel like
what?
And Liv Morgan, like if you look at the Judgment Day, like Liv's not wearing anything purple.
No.
They're not doing that. So I mean, that's clearly this is not going to last very long.
It shouldn't. I mean,
and it's not. And at this point, I think they're doing they're rebooting these guys. You know what I mean? And it's going to be. I think the Judgment Day is going to end soon. I think, I just think Finn Balor is going to go off and do his thing. He'll probably have a side faction eventually with Carlito and the dude from Shrek, but JD, but I can't see the Judgment Day all actually sticking together as the Judgment Day by the Rumble. I think it's over.
This thing is riding on its rims at this point.
Yeah,
but this whole discussion that we're having it completely justifies why Raw needs to go back to 2 hours. That was
when I took out the trash when they announced that because it was like there was an ad. So I was like, oh, I'm running out real fast. And I think one of you guys or somebody here said it. Was it you, Ted, that posted a thing? It's going to 2 hours. Oh no, a buddy of mine texted me. He's like, yo, Raw's going back 2 hours on the 7th. Was that October 7th? And I was like,
is it that soon?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And I said that's a smart. Like I thought they were going to wait for Netflix, but it's smart because it's just I understand they have so many superstars, and everything like that, but it's like the middle of the show is boring.
It's not just.
You're right. It's beginning and end. That's it.
It's going to be 2 hours, but when they go to Netflix, they're going to be able to play with the time. And if they have stuff that they need to do a little bit longer one week, they'll do it a little bit longer. There's also going to be ads on Netflix. They're going to have, because Netflix is going to start it.
Well, yeah, I mean, when you
it's going to be like it's going to it's going to be like the PLEs. You know what I mean? Like for the most part, if they have their sponsors and stuff like that, like, sorry, I can't computer, like Slim Jim and stuff like that, but we're not going to get like, 3 minutes. Oh, it's like, because you can always see it, especially when Michael Cole was like, commenting like, oh, Rhea Ripley going down, Liv Morgan. What'll happen when we come back? It's like, the entrance was 2.5 minutes ago, and now I got to go watch shampoo commercials for the next 3.5 minutes. So I think I don't mind the I call it the Amazon Prime ads where you're probably going to get like 2 30-second ads and stuff like that, or WWE. There's a
Peacock ads and all that.
Advertise your merchandise that I'm going to keep buying. That's fine.
Yeah, I think that's fine. But like you take away, it's like anything when you watch your TV shows. If you watch like Game of Thrones live on HBO, right? And it's like, oh, it's on at 9 o'clock and it's done by 10 o'clock, right? Or now let's use The Walking Dead as a perfect example. Walking Dead's an hour, but if you go back to stream it. And you look at the time, it's only 45 minutes.
Right, because it's all commercials.
They got 15 to 20 minutes just of commercials.
Hell, I think that's generous. I think it's maybe like a half an hour worth of programming.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So that's kind of like what's going on with Raw.
Yeah.
Television shows routinely film about 30 to 40 minutes, and the rest of that time is filled with ads.
Ads, yeah. So, I mean, we're going to get ads, like Frank said, but it's going to be very, very low compared to what we're getting now, to the point where we're going to be like, this is great, this is fantastic. I mean, because we're so used to getting and that's the thing. And they do have some good matches, and then it just cuts. Now, I don't mind the ones when they cut to the ads and they have the little box next to it, and the match is still going.
Feed by feed, or what is it?
Yeah,
the split feed.
Yeah, and I think they're trying to eliminate those leaked videos now, because you ever see like the leaked videos what they do Raw during commercials. Yeah. And like you got them like sitting in corners, like just talking and stuff like that. Yeah, like hey, let's have a drink while we're waiting for the next 3 minutes, and then they come back and the music starts up again and everything. So I think they're just trying to cut a lot of that leaked footage as well, which is probably a smart thing. So yeah, there's my 2 cents.
Well, again, it was an exciting week, but I think the main event was SmackDown on USA. So.
Absolutely.
They went through a whole rebranding, so now they got a new logo. Have you guys seen the new logo yet?
The new logo is terrible, and the entrance song is horrendous.
Yes.
Like the play-in song is absolutely awful.
The only thing I like is the font and the way they're doing the names of when everybody's coming up. That looks good. Like when like somebody's coming down and they do it's a different font and it's colored yellow for or gold for the champion and then like blue for the normal. That's fine. That stuff looks good. The SD thing is horrible. It looks stupid.
Yeah.
It looks like Smash
Sound.
You know what I would have liked them to do? Like almost like every time they update Raw, every time they update SmackDown, it's the original like Raw theme song, the original SmackDown theme song. I would have liked them to like kind of like revamp it, do a new version of the same song every time. Or I mean, my favorite Raw one was the Nickelback song, but I'm just saying, like, they had, like, I would just love to have that. Everything's nostalgic now. So I thought for sure, just like what kind of Ted's got in the background there, I really thought for sure they were going to do an updated version of the Fist.
Yeah, I thought they were talking
I think that's
about
what everyone was expecting.
Even if it was on the screen, kind of like the Liberty Bell was where Frank was and you guys were, and I never got to go see. But, like, even if they had, like, a digital fist or something like that, that would have been pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like,
or the original SmackDown theme song.
Yeah, exactly.
That was phenomenal.
Or the one from PlayStation 2.
Yes. Yeah. That still goes hard, man. But No, they chose this song, and it literally does not pump you up.
Nah.
I'm curious what they're going to do for Raw, because Raw is going to be.
There's probably I'm expecting a revamp of the Raw logo.
Oh yeah, I just hope it doesn't look like this.
Just bring back.
It's going to say.
I don't know. Bring back the heavy metal for me.
I mean, listen, that SmackDown song, when it was like, I don't know the name of the song, but the years of Booker T and Undertaker and Benoit and all them
Beautiful
guys,
people, Marilyn Manson.
No,
I was the one after that.
Can't use him yet.
I Want It All. I think that's the one.
Yeah, and I Won't Be Denied or something like that.
Is that the one from Here Comes the Pain?
Yeah, it's I Want It All.
Yeah.
Okay, I Want It All. That sounds about right.
So
that should have been it. That was probably their
Rise
best song.
Up.
Rise Up. No, it might be Rise Up. I don't know.
Rise Up.
That was Drowning.
Or just have Downstate write a song for both shows, and because it seems like they're the only freaking theme songs that are any good is whenever they put out a song. I know Cody's got all Downstate songs, but that's not what I'm saying. Because there's a ton of artists out there that use Downstate. I mean, other superstars that use Downstate for their theme song. But who's the one they got running all the music right now? They're called
Def Rebel.
Awful. They only got like two.
I think that's what you're referring to, right? That's who's making all the entrance themes right now.
Yeah, and they're like, but like the ones that are actually good and lasting are the band Downstate. Downstate does a ton of them. What's his name? Nick, whatever his name is on TNA.
Nick
Dolph Ziggler. Yeah, Dolph Ziggler. Like he did his theme. He did Dolph Ziggler's theme. They did Downstate does the Miz's theme. You know what I mean? Like they're all their songs that they do for all the wrestlers are good.
Bring back like Jim Johnston or something like that. Whoever wrote all those.
Jim Johnson.
Yeah, bring him back.
Yeah, I don't know what happened with that, but yeah, he was great.
Fact check. This guy's still alive.
Yes.
Okay. Well, then bring him back.
They just had an interview with him after the singer from the DX singer passed away. They were talking. Yeah.
Remember when they did the national anthem? That was terrible.
So
do you know that? So that's what I was saying. There was the interview with that singer. Do you know that was the point?
What, for it to be terrible?
Yeah, because they were So because DX was getting over, they were trying to want you to hate them. So so actually Jim Johnson, I believe, is on bass guitar with the band on stage when they're doing it. And they got back like they're gonna kill us, and they got back, and everybody in the backstage area, Vince and everybody, like, that was awesome. They hate you. Yeah, that was the point.
Huh.
So it was supposed to be terrible.
Talking from Downstate, because we brought up Downstate, but going to Cody. So that was the first match of the night, which you knew that you're starting off with the cage match. That means that Roman is coming. But to me, it just throughout the whole show, here comes Cody. I want nothing to do with the Bloodline. I've won my match. I'm done with the Bloodline. But Roman comes out, says something, and here comes Cody. And now we got a tag match. Nobody asked for this.
Every prediction I made for SmackDown was 100% wrong. I just want to make sure I pulled that. I said in that chat,
you pulled an Andy.
Not happen.
I'm usually the one making the wrong decisions.
I was wrong.
No,
everything.
Wasn't the last PLE? we were like going down, and he's like 0 for 3. Over.
I had the Ultimate Warrior winning at SummerSlam. Like, bro, he's been dead for like 10 years now.
But you got to look at so the Cody and Roman thing. You got to look at the formula that they follow. This is a typical WWE from back as far back as you could go in wrestling. Put the two guys that hate each other the most in a tag match together. There's going to be friction. There's going to be. I don't hate that as much as I hate Solo. And I know they want you to hate Solo, but Jacob Fatu overshadows Solo, even when he's standing there looking like a psychopath, staring at him at the back of his head with his hands folded, still overshadows Solo to the point where Solo is all but pointless right now.
Solo has go away heat.
Yes.
Jacob Fatu has, this dude is a bad MF for heat.
And the tease the tease of him getting in the ring where Roman's like, all right, come on.
Yep.
Is what everybody wants to see, and they're doing that right by not letting them fight just yet.
Give Triple H his props for that, for having Jacob Fatu with that fake leg injury to keep him away from Roman. It's phenomenal storytelling. Phenomenal.
I understand.
Phenomenal.
I understand why the match is happening. You have to reintroduce the rest of the bloodline at some point. It's a slow burn with them. When Roman's standing in the ring and he holds out his hand and Nick hands him the contract, I audibly laughed because that was funny. That's not what he wanted. And that's where you're going to see Paul Heyman kind of come back. I think during this match at Bad Blood.
Or do you think he saves him for Survivor Series?
I don't think he saves them for Survivor Series. I think you have to get them back before Survivor Series. You have to get Jay back over. You have to get Paul Heyman back with Jimmy. And I think Heyman brings Jimmy down to the ring to make a save.
Hear me out. I got this. Now my brain's working a little bit right now.
Doesn't happen often. This is great.
Does not happen often. Hear me out. So let's say the Bad Blood pay-per-view. The Rock comes back, interferes in the match. Right? So let's say some things happen down the line. You got Jimmy, Jay, and you got Roman against Jacob, Solo, Tama Tonga, and The Rock. Let's just say for the sake of argument. Paul Heyman comes back at Survivor Series and introduces someone for Roman Reigns' side. That's how they bring Paul Heyman back into the fold. Like, I found someone, a client. Could be Brock Lesnar. Who knows?
There's so many more Samoans out there wrestling wise that they can bring back. That family has 4,000 members. So
yes,
it's not so hard for Heyman to grab someone and just go, or they already have, they have this plan.
Someone's got to be over though. Someone that's over.
Maybe Heyman doesn't bring back Jimmy. Maybe Jimmy comes back on his own to save his, at some point, Jimmy and Jay have to reconcile. Because he's not winning the Intercontinental belt.
No.
It sucks. He should. It would be great to see him win it and have a small little run with it just to validate all of the positive, like LA Knight.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be great to validate Jay with that belt for a small amount of time and then give it back to Braun and let Braun run with it. But Braun dropping it to Jay hurts Braun. There's a whole lot of. I think the bloodline interferes in that match.
Yeah.
And you have to get these guys back together.
Somehow. Yeah.
Honestly,
I think I think you waste The Rock. The Rock shouldn't come back to at least Survivor Series.
I think again, I think The Rock's going to come back I don't think he's going to come back at Survivor Series. I think he's going to come back at the Rumble.
You think wait till January to set up WrestleMania for him and Roman in January? Not plant the seed as during the Bloodline Civil War.
I think you'll definitely see the Civil War at Survivor Series. It'll be old Bloodline versus new Bloodline.
War games.
I think new Bloodline wins. I
think that is when. I think Rock is going to come back at Survivor Series. He's going to come back at the end of the War Games match.
Yeah, so do I. I think
revealing he's the mastermind behind this.
Yeah, and I think Roman's team loses at Survivor Series.
I can see that
because of that.
Yeah, I predicted that the last episode, but I mean, the more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm just like, how long do they want to drag out The Rock?
It all depends.
Again, we're at the mercy of his schedule.
Yep.
So it's like, if he's working on a movie or something like that, you're not going to see him anytime soon.
Is he making any more crappy movies?
But he can do what he did last time. Like, he did a lot of social media promos.
Yep.
Right. You know what I mean? When he wasn't, like, he would respond to Cody and everything from wherever he was, sometimes not live on Raw. You know what I mean? Right, and that's where he liked it, because he was able to do the, drop the F-bomb and all that kind of stuff and everything. Got some real heat that way. So, I mean, they can still do that.
Right. He's also filming Moana right now, so they may kind of hold off on him because that's more of a kid-friendly thing.
I thought he's done filming that. But
I don't know, maybe there's a whole
maybe they're making
PR
Moana
process.
3. I don't know.
but it's not. But
Yeah.
I think that's also
Well,
why
put it
they're
this-
keeping Cody on as long as they are.
We'll put it this way: if they promote Moana at Survivor Series, Rock will be back.
They won't do that.
I can't
No.
see them promoting Moana.
That's a rights
No,
issue.
no.
That's a rights issue with Disney. They won't do that.
Not even a
They
right.
did it with Star Wars Outlaws.
It's a kid friendly movie, and he's coming back as like an asshole. So they
Right.
you can't shade, you can't make that, you can't connect those two.
But they got that Red One movie coming out in December.
And that's supposed to be like
in November. Actually, that's coming out in November, I think.
maybe that can be because
With Chris Evans, and what's his name?
J.K. Simmons.
Yeah, and that's not.
Remember a couple of years ago when they did the Survivor Series thing with the egg, where Vince McMahon had that egg?
Oh
The
yeah.
egg.
Yeah, and he's just like, it's from your cousin The Rock. It's worth $1 million.
Yeah, because of the Ryan Reynolds movie.
Yes, I can't remember. I saw the movie. It was god awful, and I can't remember the name of the movie. It was a Netflix movie.
Right.
Red One comes out November 15th.
What the hell was the name of that movie then? It's bothering me.
Which movie?
The egg
One
movie.
with The Rock and Gal Gadot and Ryan Reynolds, where they're thieves.
I'll tell you right now. But yeah, so when's War Games?
Red
When's
Notice.
War Games? What's the date of War Games?
November 29th?
Yeah, it's right after Thanksgiving.
Red Notice is the movie you're thinking.
Red Notice. Perfect. Thank you.
So you got this pay-per-view to maybe do a little setup. Who then, okay, so they go into Survivor Series. What awful program does Cody get next?
Logan Paul again? Logan Paul?
I don't know. Ted said he had some Cody issues. I want to hear what his Cody issues are.
Yes, let's hear this, Ted.
Well, no, I already said it. It's just that I want nothing to do with the bloodline, but here I come. I'm going to go interject Roman. Why?
Well, to be fair, when Roman came out,
That wasn't so bad.
Roman did that whole, this is my WWE, this is my ring, this is my show. He's supposed to be the champion. It's supposed to be his show as the champion. Roman put his foot down, drew a line in the sand, and that's why Cody had to come out. It wasn't a strong showing for Cody. I like the fact that he was still selling the injuries. The bleeding thing, that wasn't fake blood. He actually got busted open on that. That was cool. But I still think Roman stands so far above him right now. And Cody didn't look strong.
The reason why Roman is that much bigger than Cody. And it goes back. This is why the Cody story and Roman, everything works so well. Roman's basically a part-timer.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be real. If Roman's there every single week, has matches every single week, we said it for a whole year or 2 years for 4 years. Oh, here we go. Roman's championship. Here he goes. Here's how, the bloodline gets involved. Oh, here we go. The bloodline story. It's just getting stale. It's just getting really stale. It's time for him to drop the belt. It's just getting stale. It sounds like the same conversation we're having right now about Cody, JJ. But I'm just making a point. What makes Roman so big right now is he's not there all the time.
Yeah.
Could we be seeing the seeds being planted of a heel turn?
For who?
For Cody?
For Cody.
No, I don't think so.
Like a
Not
jealous-
right now. Not right now.
I said planting seeds. I didn't say it was going to be a full heel turn.
Wrestler. I know who his next opponent is.
Who?
Ricky.
Ricky. Hey, listen, he never lost a match.
I just saw that clip about an hour before you guys.
He
got
never
on.
lost a match, guys. Give him his dues. He's just like that kid that won the tag title with Braun Strowman a couple years ago.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
but, like, hey, he could have a hell of a career ahead of him. Hey, you see how all these wrestlers, they come in as one name, and then
Yeah, those
They merge as
commentators
another.
were just. They're Michael Cole said George Animal Steel's kid.
Best comment of the night. I only wish that Pat McAfee had been there because that would have been a running joke the whole 5 minutes.
Oh, 100%.
But yeah, I love what they're doing with Roman. I mean, obviously I love Cody as a champ, you know what I mean? But like, I do believe Cody should lose the title some way or another. I do. And then could get it back. I think he should, at some point before Mania, he should lose to Jacob Fatu, and that would start up more bullshit with the Bloodline. Because Solo would be pissed and all that stuff. But it'd
be like a Randy Orton Triple H Evolution type of deal.
Yes, right? Yes, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
That's
like that would, because that would spike up the Bloodline story as well, you know. And I think that would help. And I also think, and at one point, if Cody is going to be the champ at WrestleMania again, he wins it back, or you know, he has a match with Jacob at WrestleMania for the title back, and he wins it because you're going to have Roman versus The Rock anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I'm kind of wondering? I'm kind of wondering. You know, remember right after when Cody won the title, when the Rock kind of like gave us like, you know, BS congratulations, and like kind of like
grabbed him.
Yeah, like don't break my heart or whatever. I'm kind of curious. Could could Rock possibly challenge Cody?
Yeah,
and then
absolutely.
Then at Survivor, and then you know, could Rock maybe win, and then it could set up Roman versus Rock.
Rock interjects himself into the Rumble and wins the Rumble.
I can't see a scenario where The Rock doesn't get that belt back one more time in his next run.
I like the idea of him being the final boss, because even though of him not physically winning the championship, I like the idea of him inserting himself into the plot line and basically just being like, he's the reason why Jacob wins the championship. This is what I was getting at. So with Jacob Fatu and him at WrestleMania, how Cody wins and still expands the Bloodline story is Solo's anger and jealousy gets involved, and Cody steals the win simply because, which keeps Jacob's power still, you know, intact. That, you know, he's pretty much right now he's unbeatable to the most part, you know what I mean, as a one-on-one guy, but you can still keep him as a strong role, but have him win the championship, that'll piss Solo off, you know what I'm saying? And The Rock will basically be at one point being like, shut up, like, we got a plan here, stick with it, and Solo just can't do it because Solo thought he was going to be the guy. And that's why I feel like so like we said before, like Cody needs the Bloodline, but I feel like it doesn't necessarily have to be The Rock or Roman. It could still be Jacob, but really it's a mind F with Solo. And then that could cause the end of the Civil War, because then you're getting down to one Bloodline by the end of all this. I would say by SummerSlam next year, it's one Bloodline and it's back to being Roman and stuff. But that Bloodline, I don't think is ever going to be a heel again.
No, it can't.
And Triple H.
I just think for Cody's sake, you know what I mean? I think I get what they're, you know, he's the new Superman, he's the new John Cena type thing. But I think he has to lose the title, even if it's like, you know, him getting screwed in some way or another, and win it back. I think he has to lose the title.
So Triple H, if you're watching, this is our job applications for WWE Creative. So
Cody will never win another.
I did call, but these two will tell you, I called the Bloodline Civil War before it was even like testing the waters of it. I was like, this is what's going to happen. They're going to be a Bloodline Civil War, and here it is. I should have copyrighted this shit. I should got a piece of the puzzle from Hunter.
Put the title on Logan Paul, have him face Kevin Nash. There's your WrestleMania match.
Oh my god!
Yeah, right. But I wish they would do. I mean, it's hard because, like we said, everyone's a babyface right now, and there's not many heel turns. The only one that seems logical right now is LA Knight.
I could see him turning. They do have a very lack on heels. Their tag division is a shambles right now.
It's awful.
Defending belts. Like the only belt that's being defended and changing hands is the women's belt, and it's like that's a merry-go-round. the Raw tag belts haven't been defended in over 2 months now. The SmackDown tag belts haven't been defended in over a month, maybe more. And then they're talking. There's rumors of a European belt coming back. Like, they're not defending belts.
Well, weren't there talks at one point about a women's intercontinental title or something like that?
Which
makes sense. I mean, there should be. I mean, there's tag titles,
a women's intercontinental title and a women's U.S. title.
U.S. title, which there should be, because it's kind of embarrassing. These tag
everything
titles,
that the guys have, the women should have the same.
Right. Everything that Frank just said was true, especially with the women's tag titles. Like,
they shouldn't have.
They put them on these. They put them
shows.
Well, they should. They have.
I feel like the intercontinental title should always, or the U.S. title should do exactly what it was with Cena with the U.S. title, right? Where every open challenge every week. It was, you know what I mean? Every week. And
that title hadn't been relevant for a long time.
Right, and he did that.
Right, exactly.
He did that. So I think they should do that again.
Gunther elevated the Intercontinental Championship. And
100%.
The U.S. title is still kind of, because Logan Paul had it, but didn't defend it but like once or twice.
Right.
LA Knights defended it once or twice.
Yeah, but he's defending it against, lack of a better term, scrubs. Like, they're not really.
They could use.
But
it's like when Gunther was defending the Intercontinental title against Sheamus and Drew McIntyre, and the list goes. Sami Zayn. Who else did he defend that title against?
Well, it's also the same way with him defending his World Heavyweight Championship. He's getting better opponents than Cody was. They're not. I said this before, and we've talked about it. They are not setting Cody up to succeed.
Not at all.
His story is so relevant only with the Bloodline. Outside of the Bloodline, the matches that he's having are not setting him up to be a good champion. Gunther got Randy Orton right away. Cody got AJ Styles. That's night and day different.
And where's AJ been since?
Right.
And
he's just not getting the level of opponent that Gunther's getting.
Well, It works better with Gunther only because he's a heel.
Yes.
And like Ted said, they have an abundance of baby faces and not enough heels.
They did a good job because Gunther people started to really like him.
Yeah.
And they did a good job to we got to come up with he's got to be an asshole because people they're liking him.
But they're also liking him as a heel.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So I think he's the best heel we have right now. I think Seth comes back as a heel, but everybody loves him too much.
I think Drew is a better heel than Gunther right now.
Oh, I should have said that. Yeah, I agree. This is the best run Drew's ever had.
I think they're 1A, 1B as far as heels go. Like, they're right there together.
But of course, CM Punk messed up again, just like he did when they tried to put him and Cena. Got seen at a restaurant 3 hours before the pay-per-view. There's a picture of him and Drew out behind the scenes of Raw ringside, just hanging out. Like I understand.
You see Drew try to cover that up too because he was on. I forget what it was, that Chris Fleet or whatever his name is. He was on there basically saying that he legitimately left when CM Punk came back that night at Survivor Series, and he was saying, "Oh yeah, there's a lot of bad blood there." Blah blah blah. Basically trying to cover it up, if you will. But that's a great story being told, and that does not need a title.
No, and they're coming up with new, they're bringing back obviously the strap match, the Hell in the Cell match, and realistically the way how good the two are together, this feud could go on for a year, and we'd still be like, yo, Punk and McIntyre, best match of the night. Next month, Punk and McIntyre, best match of the night.
Yeah.
We're not really getting tired of it, but I mean, I do think they set up Punk in
prison match.
Oh God! I was ringside for that match, bro.
Oh, that sucks.
Let's go. I'm in.
I was ringside for that match.
I think this Hell in a Cell does closes the book on the two of them.
Yeah, 100%.
It should.
Question. I have a question about not the Hell in a Cell, but cage matches in general. Don't you think they should update the old style, but bring the old style back instead of the cyclone fence?
Which one? one? The big blue
The
bars?
big blue bars.
Oh.
Looks like an old 1970s jail
That
cell.
would be cool.
You mean from like the Hogan versus Bundy?
Yeah.
Oh.
They totally show. Oh, you can't see it because they're so wobbly. It's like,
Well, the reason
because I just felt like if you do something different, because Hell in the Cell is the same thing, just with the top.
But the reason they did that with the big open things like that was so the camera could get in and you could see the people.
Right.
That was the reason they made that cage, and then they went back to the steel, the cyclone fence.
But it's not even. It's a fence. It's a steel fence match. It's not even a cage. It's a fence.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm just kidding. I just thought it was like,
no. I mean, it's a good concept.
I do like when they did the red one, the red cage, but I wouldn't know what that would be like for the people at the arena if they were able to see through all that.
Right. I am so glad they did away with that Hell in a Cell pay-per-view because you totally watered down the whole concept of a Hell in a Cell match.
I think Andy had to go poop.
Yeah, probably. He's back. That was quick.
Yeah, look, his shirt. Untuck your shirt. There you go. You're good now.
Yeah. My wife was changing my son's diaper behind us. I didn't want to put him on camera. So.
Oh, thank you for that.
My dog's dreaming, so you might, during your editing, you might hear, ruff, ruff, ruff. Calm down, bro.
That's just Frank watching reruns of the Phillies games.
Yeah, it is.
Well, it's definitely going to be an interesting run for USA. So I mean, take advantage while you can.
Real quick question. Now, is SmackDown going to 3 hours? Is that like a thing?
No.
So no 3 hours anymore.
They're cutting that out altogether.
Beautiful, love it.
Raw,
which I think is great because I think. Sorry, if I didn't mean to cut you off, Frank. I think what they can do is they can do more. They could incorporate more with TNA. I think with doing a 2 hour show. So a lot of those mid card guys that have potential to be something bigger, to see them pop over on TNA and stuff like that, I think would help also keep that money in their pocket as well as getting them TV time as well. And also having some of them mid-carders going back to NXT because I know they want to bring NXT to be a little bit more mainstream. I know it's their kind of like their up-and-coming guys, but to see you can have some of them mid-card guys pop over on TNA, which they have been doing, on NXT. But yeah, overall I think the 2 hours when they were going to 3 hours, we were all probably I know the three of us were like, oh, it's gonna be great, it's gonna be awesome, and it was. I mean, but then it's too much.
It just went downhill.
And they're seeing it. They're seeing that probably like, hey, people are going more to our YouTube channel to get the highlights because everything in the middle is not worth watching.
Yep.
NXT is supposed to be moving their facility out to LA or Vegas, I think.
Really?
That was the rumor that I read last month. Was
TNA with the UFC arena, right?
They're going to move the whole thing out to Vegas, and
wow,
and LA. I forget which one, and set up shop out there. As far as Raw goes, like I said earlier, Netflix is going to let Raw kind of do what they want to do. If it's a 2 hour night, it's a 2 hour night. If they feel like going over 2, if they want to do 2.5, Netflix will let them do 2.5. It depends on how they write the show that day.
So is WWE going to be based out of Stanford still? Because I saw something where that building was up for sale.
They have a new building, but it's still up there.
Oh, got you.
That's the one Punk got locked in the locker.
But hey,
guys,
actually,
listen, I got to run, but thanks for having me on. All right.
All right. See you, Andy.
See you, Andy.
But thinking about the U.S. title, I mean, I think it'd be pretty cool to see Joe Hendry step up to a challenge against.
Oh, please give me more Joe Hendry
against LA Knight.
Say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry.
I do. I think
was done by design, Ted. That was know how much Andy loves Joe Hendry. You did that on purpose.
I love Joe Hendry.
I'm a huge also love Joe Hendry.
I'm just saying because Andy always
dude's a marketing genius.
No, he is. He's phenomenal.
He's a marketing genius, and he's fantastic. And to go, what you just said there is exactly what I was thinking. Like with the U.S. title, like if you do a U.S. title, and the title has to be, if it's on Raw, okay? Let's say it's on Raw, whatever it's on. If it's on Raw, it has to be an open challenge every week. Then you give a chance. You can build stories off that, but you can also make pop-up surprises. Whether it's TNA, whether it's, old stars, even if they're coming back for one day and stuff like that, like it makes it interesting. So if the mid-card part of Raw is the U.S. Open Challenge and then you see, let's just say, Joe Hendry come out for that, you know about the pop that would get?
My God.
You know what I mean? And even if it was creating a story with somebody else, like let's just say, Kevin Owens is a heel, and he comes in to screw the match up because, that still builds off the story. But if you have that open challenge every week, you can use that for, cheap pops for returning guys or an NXT people making their debuts, as well as TNA wrestlers coming in and also, surprise returns and stuff like that. Like you could have a new pop, like a big pop every week just for that. And I think that's what they need to do. And John Cena was smart when he did that open challenge thing. That was great. We looked forward to that.
Yeah, it built a lot of characters and all that stuff too.
Right.
Put a lot of people
I think that's what they should do. And like you said with that Joe Hendry, that would be, if it was the Raw after WrestleMania and they did a US Open challenge and anybody come on here, say his name, and the whole arena would go freaking ape shit for that.
That Raw after
Joe Hendry would have made his entire salary with TNA with that one appearance.
Yep.
Ted, were you at that Raw at the WrestleMania this year? Because that was brutal. Frank and I went.
Raw after Mania though has not been good in about 2 or 3 years.
It really wasn't that good.
It was terrible.
It has not been good, and that's what I'm saying. I think this is their chance to fix a lot of those things.
He getting us upgraded to club box level was good though.
That was a highlight.
Yeah.
That was like us when we went to AEW in the beginning. Remember, we got like the cheapest seats, and they're like, "Hey,
well, that's because they put a camera in our section.
Yeah, they had the camera in our section.
Well, again, it's going to be an interesting run on USA, guys. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, we sidetracked. Sorry about that.
Pretty good conversation today, guys. So very curious to hear what everyone says. Let us know in the comments. I think it's good to close this out now, guys, because it's 12:01 and we have football.
Football
soon,
time.
So, thanks for joining us, everyone. Let us know what you think in the comments. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll see you guys on the next video. See you guys.
Peace.